Hello, engineering students. Welcome to problem 1-10. It is very important that you follow the video lesson exactly as I show you. I'm going to be showing you skills that will be asked on the NOCTI exam and Autodesk Inventor exam. So it might be beneficial for you to just watch the video the whole way through first so that you learn and absorb the skills that are being taught. Right off the bat, you should have Autodesk Inventor open. Let's go ahead and start a new part. Problem 1-10 looks really simple on the surface, but there's a lot of skills that you learn when creating this part. If you're curious about why my background is white, let me just show you how to change the background. Oops. If you go into the Tools menu, you have a button that says Application Options right here. And there's a tab that says Colors. I keep mine on Presentation. If it didn't change your background to white, you should be able to click on the gray here, and then that should maybe update it. Let's see, I can also change it to be a background image or a color. If I wanted it to be a background image, I can actually save an image and put it in that way. But I'm going to leave it on color 1. Depending on your preference, you might want it to be on high contrast, light theme, millennium. I'm going to keep it on presentation for now. I'm just going to cancel out so I don't mess anything up. So that's how you would update the colors if you want it, to be more customized to your preferences. The other thing you should be aware of is your document settings. When you click on document settings, always make sure that you know what units that you're working in before you even start modeling your designs. So if it's in inches, leave it in inches. If it needs to be in millimeters, change it to millimeters. For problem 1-10, we are leaving it in inches. That's something that you should definitely know how to do, and do it before you start modeling. In the 3D model tab, let's start a 2D sketch. So click that. And we're going to start on the XY plane. And I'm going to start trying to get you into the habit of drawing your drawings so that they're near the origin point but not exactly on it, because sometimes these lines will interfere with what we see. And typically the standard is to start on the origin, but I want to make our lives easier by drawing it near the origin and keeping it off of it. For this particular example, if we need to do something symmetrical and make a sphere where we need the origin so that we have an easy mirror plane, then we can do that. Really depends on the part. But for something like this, let's draw a little bit outwards, like right around here. So I'm selecting rectangle, and I want my length up top to be 2. Use your left hand to tab over, and the height is going to be 1.25. I press enter. Now you'll notice my part is off the page. Don't freak out. Just click front on the view cube. You should see the length here is 2. The height is 1.25. That's all we need to know for right now. So we're going to finish the sketch. Click the home on the view cube, and we will extrude it by 1 inch. So click extrude. It's defaulted to distance A as 1 inch. That's fine. If it's not, make sure it says 1 inch and click OK. So there's going to be a lot of skills I show in this video lesson, and then the technical drawing. I'm going to do the full technical drawing, and I need you to watch that part, because what I'm seeing or have been seeing are some technical drawing faux pas, things you shouldn't be doing on your technical drawing, and people are forgetting some things on their technical drawing, like a parts list or center marks. So we need to start subtracting material away from this part. Let's go ahead and start doing that. On the top surface here, I'm going to let's start on the front surface. So move your mouse on the front surface, right click, new sketch. Get into the habit of projecting the geometry. So click project, click your surface. That's just makes life way easier when you're extruding material. And we are going to start by drawing a rectangle with no dimensions so that it's touching the part and also hanging off of the part like you see here. Click dimension, click the top edge, and click the top line of that rectangle. That's going to be 0.25. And the same dimension on the bottom, 0.25. So by this point in time, you're 10 problems in. You should know how to dimension lines to edges. So that should have been very easy and straightforward for you. Dimension the edge and that line right there, and that's going to be 0.5. All right, so now what we're going to do is, that's all the dimensions we need for that particular shape. We're going to press escape a couple times. If this is like this, that's not good. It needs to hang off the edge because we're going to cut away all of that. If you are very particular about where you place your lines and making sure you have your model fully constrained, what you can do is you can use the vertical constraint. Let me click on that again. Click on the edge. Oh, it's not letting me. Maybe, where's coincident? Is this coincident? Maybe it'll let me use coincident. Yeah, I can line it up right at the edge there. That's fine. You can do that if you want. But just to be on the safe side, let it hang off the edge there. Finish sketch, and we're going to extrude cut through all. So click extrude, click your surface. You can click both of those shapes through all, cut, and click OK. All right, if at any point in time you mess up and you need to fix any of your extrusions or your sketches on your browser window, you would simply go over, you would open up whatever the extrusion might be or the sketch, and you would right click on the sketch and then click edit sketch. And that way, you know, let's say you accidentally put 2 here or 3 or whatever, and it needs to be 2, you would just make that adjustment and it would update when you click finish sketch. So that's something you should be aware of. We have to cut an angle that goes through the whole part. So I'm going to right click on the top surface, new sketch. If your model comes in like this, just go to the view cube, make sure you're looking at it in this orientation where top is right side up. And 3D model, wait, we're on the sketch. So project geometry, I'm going to project geometry of the surface. I'm going to click the line tool. And since it's an angled line that I can dimension to, I'm going to just draw an angled line like that. How did I do that so quickly? I clicked on line, click, and then enter. Some of you like to click and then right click and OK. That's fine too. It just takes a little extra step, which is totally fine. I like to trim. So I'm going to trim that and trim that. Then I use the dimension tool to dimension to the points of those lines at the edges there. So you'll see it. Mine turns red. Your color might be different. So I'm going to click that and then click the edge. And that should be 0.5. And then this one, this little point to the edge should be 1.25 inches. And that's it. So finish sketch. Click extrude. Click that little corner. Make sure you click through all. It'll automatically click cut when you through all that way. It should at least. And then you click OK. The part is almost done. We need to put a hole in it that goes through the whole thing. So right click, new sketch on the top surface. And we're going to click circle, find a spot, any spot. The diameter of this is 0.5. You can right click to change it to radius and then make it 0.25, whatever your preference is. Just remember that radius is half of the diameter. So if the radius is 0.25, that means the diameter is going to be 0.5. We need to locate this hole, so I'm going to project the geometry of the surface. Click dimension. Click the center of the circle. Click the top edge here and make that say 0.5. And I'm going to dimension the center to this edge, and that should be 1. So 1 and 0.5. Finish sketch, and guess what we're going to do? We're going to extrude cut through all. Okay, so we're not done yet. We're almost done. Let's go ahead and click on, where is it? Tools and materials. So this is where people are fumbling or forgetting to do this step. The material, in the directions, it'll tell you what material to make your part. On the NOCD exam and the Autodesk Inventor exam, it's going to do that. It's going to ask you how to find the part, what the material is of the part. So for this example, for problem 1-10, let's make it, I want to find, where's aluminum? I passed it. Let's make it aluminum 6061. So you would click that little up arrow, and now it should be aluminum. How do I know if it's aluminum? I'm going to go to File, iProperties. Your iProperties window will pop up. And the physical model here, let me click Update. Right here, it says aluminum. So that's exactly what you should see in your physical model tab in iProperties. You're going to be asked on the NOCD exam and the Autodesk Inventor exam to find the mass, the area, the volume, and even the center of gravity for the X, Y, or Z. And you might need to open up the part. You will actually have to open up the iProperties on Inventor for whatever files they give you and be able to find this information and put it into the answer section or the little text box. They will ask for density. They're going to ask for you to copy and paste whatever the density is into the answer box. They might even ask for the center of gravity, which is right here. They might say, what's the IXX of this part? And then you'll go here and you'll type, or you'll find the answer and you'll copy and paste it into the answer box. So that is a very important thing that you need to remember, need to be able to do for the NOCD and the Autodesk Inventor exam. Now that I know that the physical matches the material I made it, that's great. If I go to summary, I want to make sure I change the project title to problem 1-10. Some of you keep forgetting to do this. Subject, let's make that engineering. I'm the author, so I'm going to put my name. And then project, make sure the date is correct. Designer should be your name. The part number is going to be 1-10. And you don't need to put any of the other stuff in here. I'm going to click apply and close, and then save. So I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm in my models folder. This should say, I'm going to write my name. So you should write your name, underscore problem 1-10. And then click save. That is a .ipt file, so that's a part file. All right, so at this point in time, you should have everything exactly correct as shown in the video lesson. This video is going to continue, but what I need you to do, so that I know you actually are paying attention, is pause the video and check in with Mr. Cruz. Check in with me. Say, hey, Mr. Cruz, come look at my part. I'm at the video spot that says to pause and to check my part. So do that now. All right, I hope that you checked in with me and I said that your part was great and you didn't need to fix anything. Now let's move on to making the technical drawing. Here's the part that is also messing people up or causing some problems here and there. In order to make sure that you're successful with all of this stuff, the easiest way to move on after this is to simply go to File and then Open. And you're going to find your custom template. And where would that be? Let's go to, well, this should find, where's my custom template? I need to find, okay, so now I'm in the section for custom templates. Custom template. This is how I named mine, custom template. You might have yours named as custom template with your name or something else. So once you find that, click it and then click open and let it open. And this is not the right one. So that's bad. Let me pause and try and find my correct one. File, open. Where did I put it? Custom template .dwg. Let's see if this is it. Uh-oh. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. I saved mine as the name of the picture I have in there. So let me open this. And okay, here it is. So on your custom template, you should see the title block that you designed and created. Designed by, title, date, scale, checked, approved. This title block, we're going to actually update it again in a future video. So that includes things like the material, the volume, the density, just automatically right off the bat, so you don't have to worry about it ever again. But that's not our time yet to do that yet. We're going to keep using the parts list for now. Once your custom template is open, the first thing you should do before anything else is go to File, Save As, and change the name to your part name. So I'm going to make it cruise underscore problem 1-10. And I need to actually, since I'm doing this video lesson again, let me just put another dash here so I don't overwrite the other one I have. But for you, just put problem 1-10 and click save. Let that save. It might take a moment. Okay. Next, we're going to click base. Okay, my computer's being slow. Hang on. Okay, here we go. We're going to click base view. And if it doesn't show you the front view right away, and it's actually not showing you anything, you need to go into open existing file and find your saved 3D model. But for me, it worked right away. We're going to leave it in scale 1:1. The hidden lines should be turned on, and shading should be turned off for now. The front view, we want that to be on the left side. Okay, so we're going to click the top view, the side view, and the isometric view in those locations. Mine looks shiny because it is aluminum. Yours might match that. I'm going to click OK. The colors go away, which is fine. I'm going to double click on the isometric and then check shaded and click OK. If you're missing the hidden lines, double click on the front view again and make sure that that hidden line button is clicked. All right, the next thing we need to do, before we start dimensioning, let's make sure our parts list is what I'm looking for. So we're going to click annotate, click parts list, and it's going to ask you to select the document, which is problem 1-10. Click OK, and click in the bottom right area here for the parts list. Okay, this parts list is not what I want, so tap escape a couple times, hover over the parts list, and double click it. A window should pop up that shows you what you can add or remove. For this parts list, we're going to get rid of description. So where's my button here? Column chooser. So click on column chooser. That's this one right here. I'm going to click on description and click remove. And then I'm going to scroll down. I want volume and I want material. Add. There we go. And there's nothing else that we're going to add right now. But you might be asked to include the subject. You might be asked to include the file name or the creation date or the description. So you need to make sure that you follow the directions very closely, whether it's directions from me or directions on the exams. Now that I clicked OK, I should see item, quantity, part number, volume, and material. The volume should say 1.183 cubic inches. The material should say aluminum 6061. Click apply, click OK, and that should update. And I want it to look nice, so I'm going to line it up and squeeze it a little bit. And pull that down. There we go. That's a nice clean parts list. That's what that should look like. Now dimensioning, let's dimension our part. Some of you are not following the dimensioning guidelines, which is okay for now. This is your opportunity to learn to correct those mistakes and make it better and make your drawings professional. I want your drawing to be dimensioned exactly as I dimension this. So you're this far into the video. If you make a mistake and do not dimension the drawing the way I'm telling you to draw the dimension, you're going to get a 0 on this. Your dimensions need to match exactly what I place on this video lesson. So this is for everyone. If you're watching this right now and you know your buddy, your partner, your friend next to you, your peer next to you is not following the directions of the video, now's your moment to be a good friend and say, hey, Mr. Cruz said you're going to get a 0 on this if you don't do the dimensions exactly the way he shows them in his video lesson. So let's go. Click on dimension. We're going to dimension the front view first. Click the little corner dots. Let that snap into place. That should say 2.00. Dimension this line. Let that snap into its first spot. Dimension this line and let that snap into its first spot. That should look exactly like that. We're going to click on the little dot right here for this corner and the dot right here for that corner. Let that snap into its spot. Notice how the extension line doesn't touch the part. These extension lines don't touch their part. That's what I'm looking for. That's a professional looking front view that needs another center line. So the center lines, there's a hole here. Remember, there's a hole here. So we're going to click on center line bisector. Click this edge, and you're going to get a center line right here. That center line is terrible, but we're going to fix it once we have the other center lines in place. This center line, this center line. Okay, we're going to fix those in just a few. I might forget. Let's do that now, actually. Okay, so tap escape a few times. Hover over the center mark. Right-click on it. Click on Edit Center Mark Style. And the center mark menu is going to pop up. For A, that should say 0.150. For B, that should say 0.05. C should say 0.125. And D should say 0.05. Save and close. And look at those beautiful center lines. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Let's dimension the side view. Click dimension. We need the overall depth. So click those two corners. Let it snap into place. Look how these are lined up. If you put a ruler there, they would be lined up. That's what we want. And we need the height. So again, click the corners. Let it snap into its spot. And we need this dimension right here. Let that snap into its spot. We're going to put a center mark here and here, but I'm going to get rid of it. But what? Just watch. Don't do this step yet. But just watch. If I click here and here, I get my center mark. Notice how it clashes with the extension line. That's okay. If you don't have this center mark, we're smart enough to realize that there's a hole here, and we're going to have a center mark here. But for technical purposes, you need to have that center line there. And it just looks a little funky, but that's the standard. That's what we're going to follow. So the side view is complete. Let's dimension the top view. We're going to dimension these 2 points. Let that snap into place. And we need the center mark on this in order to dimension the whole location. So click on the center mark button and then click on the outside of the circle. And your center mark should look like that. Beautiful center mark. Click dimension. Click the corner. Click the center of the hole and then place that up top. And then again, click the center of the hole and then click this corner and bring it out this way. Or actually, we're going to go, wait, what are you doing? I don't want that to, why is that happening? Okay, hold on. That's a weird problem. So I'm going to click top one first and then that. There we go. And for this one, we're going to break a rule. Dimensions should not be inside or on a part. But for this particular one, we're going to break that rule because if we have it out here, it's going to be redundant because the side view has that 0.5. And honestly, we actually don't even need that dimension because we're dimensioning this side view. So yeah, we don't need that dimension actually. Click dimension, click the circle, and it should be in diameter. If it's not, right click, dimension type, make sure it's checked to diameter. Let's try that again. And that should be like right there. All right. That is it. That's our problem 1-10. If we wanted to take it a step further, we would click on text, and in the top left here, we would have a little note that just says inches. Click OK. We need to update the title block, so let's do that. So File, iProperties, Summary. The author is going to be your name. Make sure you're in all caps. Title is Problem 1. The date, make sure you have the correct date. And apply, close. And that should update. There we go. All right, now the other thing I want you to try is try printing this. So click the save button, let it save. And you also know that you should send me the PDF. Let me just quickly review that. File, export as PDF. Make sure you export it as a PDF. That PDF is the version that you send me. Mine automatically opens. I don't know if yours does that. But from the Autodesk window, if you press Control P as in print on your computer, you should see several printers in the names. Find one that says black and white or Lexmark BW, and you want to do best fit and click OK. And see if it'll print to our black and white printer. If it does, that's amazing. If it doesn't, then I need to fix your computer and make sure that it does print to the black and white printer. Because what I want to start doing is actually marking your papers on real paper and signing the checked box and the approved box so that you know that you're doing your drawings correctly. Some of you are getting comments on your drawings on the Google Classroom. I highlight a section, I'll make a comment. Some of you are not seeing those comments for whatever reason. You might not be revisiting your graded work, or you're simply just not seeing it. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're checking your work once it's graded to see if there's comments on it. But it's also just easier for me to grade it on paper. I know this lesson was a really long lesson for such a simple part, but there was a lot of skills that I needed to make sure we all get on the same page on. That was kind of weird to say. We all need to be on the same page when it comes to these skills, because you're going to be asked a lot of questions on the NOCTI exam and the Autodesk Inventor exam. And I know you can pass these exams as long as you follow the directions and pay attention to the details that you need to be putting on your technical drawings. You are all fully capable of passing these exams. I just need you all to step it up in terms of paying attention to details and making sure you're on point with each and every one of these technical drawings. So that's it for now. Hopefully your work has printed and you didn't need any help, because that would be great to be able to say that you did this all on your own, you got 100%. And that's okay if you did ask for help. I'm here for you. I want to help you. Help each other out. Be a good friend. Be a good peer. And let's keep it moving.